Is it Raw or is it SmackDown? Richie, what is the concept?
So the concept is if these stars had to retire today and we have to hang their jersey on the rafters, would it be a Raw jersey or a SmackDown jersey?
Historically, Raw kind of tugs at my heart. Richie's more of a SmackDown guy. Seth, are you a Raw or a SmackDown guy to your core, you think?
I'm a Raw guy to the core.
Finally!
Oh, we finally got one for you, Ryan.
Go! Woo!
Watch it since the beginning.
SmackDown marks these whole times, Seth.
Dude, you know I got you, right?
All right, well, let's see if I got you once you spin the wheel.
Ooh.
I'm good for this one. I think this is an interesting one to talk about.
Uh-huh.
This is a good one.
All right, gut reaction is kind of an easy one for me on this one. It is Raw. I believe he was actually drafted initially in 2002 to SmackDown, and I think he has a few peaks in SmackDown, but overall, when I close my eyes, I think Monday Night Raw for Chris Jericho. Richie.
I mean, Raw is Jericho. you kind of have to go with Raw.
Seth?
I was thinking the same thing. Y2J, the countdown clock. Raw is Jericho.
All right, well, let's look at the stats and see if SmackDown would take like a percentage of the pie. That would be a good exercise here. All right, Chris Jericho's best year on Monday Night Raw was 2001. His WWF, that's crazy to say, debut against The Rock is his first highlight. The Festival of Friendship in 2017 is his next highlight. Throwing HBK through the Jeritron is another highlight. The List of Jericho is the second to last highlight in his match with Chris Benoit versus Austin and Triple H from May 2001 is one of the best matches in Monday Night Raw history, if not company history. Richie, whatever some of his SmackDown stats.
So we picked his premiere year on SmackDown. It's 2009. You got to remember the Rhino Gore from 2001. That was so powerful. They had a brand new stage the next week with the iconic SmackDown Fist. Then we got the feud with Rey Mysterio in 2009. We have a championship match against Hulk Hogan when Hulk Hogan was the undisputed champion in May of 2002. Then you have the feud with Edge in 2010 when Jericho was the world heavyweight champion. And then you have his team with Jericho, which is arguably Chris Jericho's best tag team and the best tag team for a period of time during that era.
And he had 331 Raw matches, surprisingly high, 215 SmackDown matches, 60.6% matches were on Raw, 39.4% matches were on SmackDown. Seth, I'm actually kind of surprised of the robustness of the SmackDown. 2008, 9, and 10 would probably carry him. But overall, your gut reaction was Raw is Jericho. After kind of taking in these stats, what would you say? Still Raw? What are your biggest takeaway from these?
Still Raw. Still Raw, right? Yeah. And I mean, I'm surprised we don't have. There's so many Raw stories and Raw angles that we don't even have on this list.
Like name a few. What do you got?
How could we forget the whole story with Trish?
2004 Christian, yeah.
You know, I mean, that was big. How do we forget that? You know, I mean,
Canadian dollar.
$1 Canadian. And let's not forget, right? The tag team with Lance Storm. You know, there's so much going on. All his returns, you know, they all came on Raw. You know, they didn't come on SmackDown up until, you know, right at the very end when he left and went to Japan before AEW. He was coming back regularly on Raw. He wasn't doing his returns on SmackDown. So I am thinking total Raw on this. Love the Festival of Friendship. Love the List of Jericho. You know what happens when you try to put Chris Jericho on a SmackDown list, right? You know what happens.
What happens?
You just ended up on the list, right?
The List of Jericho.
You just made the list. I'm going Jericho and Raw. To me, everything on that list is everything I remember vividly. I actually had forgotten about the some of the things on there. Not Jericho, not the feud with Edge, but I actually forgot about him and Hulk Hogan for the title. That totally, I didn't remember that. I did remember, though, another one you don't have on Raw is the, him and Stone Cold, the night that he beat Stone Cold and The Rock in one night.
And Earl Hebner's Triple H. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great.
I mean,
that's
that's a Raw moment too. So
May 2000. Yeah.
yeah.
The majority of his feud with Shawn Michaels was also on Raw in 2003, and then probably the better feud in 2008. He's synonymous to Raw, but I would say about a good 20% of his pie chart would be SmackDown. I'm surprised that almost 40% of his matches were on SmackDown. That seems extremely high. That Hulk match is the shits, by the way.
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch that again. I totally forgot
it's not good. It's a
dud.
It's overbooked. They actually protect Jericho, but it's not even worth getting into.
I
Hulk is sluggish.
the complete list of Jericho where he rates all his matches. I could look it up a little bit later to see what Jericho gave it.
When this posts, Richie,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to put it. You're gonna put it in the comments.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah. And if I was gonna say too, if you just put another one out there, but let's not forget Jericho and Triple H, where he pins Triple H, and then Triple H has the referee reverse the decision. That happened, for the championship. That happened on Raw as well.
Yep. So, but ultimately, the list of Jericho is iconic, but that Festival of Friendship is an underrated piece of business. It truly is fantastic. Maybe it's a little overshadowed because of the kickback of maybe the match at WrestleMania 33 not being the best, even though it's a totally fine and acceptable match. But it doesn't live up to the height that the Festival of Friendship kind of lays out for them. I even have the action figures of the Festival of Friendship where they give you a little statue and whatnot. So that's an iconic moment too.
Yeah,
Richie, would you like to play devil's advocate for SmackDown?
Yeah,
or we're gonna punt it.
I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate, even though we're kind of all in agreement here. But like the feud with Rey Mysterio is probably the most underrated Intercontinental Championship feud we've had over the past 20 years, in my opinion. Just because two established stars that you thought would have wrestled a lot, but they really didn't. They were just kind of two ships passing in the night in WCW. I think they had one, maybe two Cruiserweight Championship matches before them, but they never had like a really long feud like this one. And it just went seamlessly with the Jericho character at the time, the suit-wearing Jericho that we knew and loved. But during this time period, it was also Jericho and Edge trying to be like tag team champions, which was going to be a huge deal, but unfortunately Edge got hurt. And then we got the team with Jericho, which I think a lot of people thought would fall flat on his face because Big Show wasn't really the most promoted guy at that point or most exciting to be with, but they really found their niche in the tag team division at that point. Now, granted, the tag team division in WWE hasn't really been a focus much at all for the past 20 years, give or take. But
small pockets, but yeah, not at all.
But it's like you'll have like some fun like memories on Jericho on SmackDown. There was like the funny picture promo he did with Benoit. I wouldn't fight Benoit on a boat. I wouldn't fight him on a boat. It's like all those different promos like that where it's like little things here and there where you're like, oh, his SmackDown run was really like entertaining. But again, Raw just clears. I think it's safe to say just because all the major stuff happened on Raw, the feud with HBK, both of them, the returns, as Seth said, all happened on Raw. There was one that happened on SmackDown. His last match was on SmackDown against Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. And like if that was his final WWE match, very good way to go out with two of the best at that time period and two of the best of all time in different eras. And you could actually see that it's like, oh, it's a WWE versus TNA versus ROH if you really wanted to. Or AEW, but I digress. But again, just everything Jericho did on Raw and SmackDown was gold, but he was on Raw more, so obviously he's going to get more of his like shining moments on Raw. Like a lot of people don't remember his win over Shawn Michaels in the rematch of WrestleMania 19 happened on Raw as well. So you have a lot of that. You have him winning the Intercontinental Championship for 8 minutes before losing it to RVD. Again, all his Intercontinental Championship match except the last one happened on Raw. I believe. I'm pretty sure. But it's like majority of them were on Raw or pay-per-view.
All right, we've given Jericho his flowers. Actually, he's a guy that I've always thought's been a little overrated, but this trip down memory lane just makes me feel that he has been a
we gotta talk about that later.
Well, let me finish it. This will put a good sentence on it. This trip down memory lane kind of cements him as a very, very good upper mid-card wrestler for me. I think he is solidified as a Raw superstar. Richie.
Raw superstar, drink it in, man.
Seth, you gonna throw us a curveball? Are you going Raw?
Raw superstar, future Hall of Famer, my friend.
Headliner.
Yes.
All right, Raw is Jericho.
Jericho.